right, it's Friday night, people. What's going on? The Skeptical Health Bar is open. I'm so excited. I'm so happy because the week's over. The weekend is here. Hey, Dr. Jim. It's only 6 p.m. in Colorado. That's not my problem. I can't do anything with the sun. It's not my problem. My problem is over because it's after 5. Well, it's after 5 for you on a Friday. So the bar is open. People are showing up. Hey, Daniel Reed. We have a guest tonight. I'm so excited because this is somebody that I've been wanting to get on for a while because I follow her on TikTok. Yes, I'm a TikTok whore. I am, not her. Me. And I love doing it. I love what she does. But first, slacker, whatever, Dr. Jim. First, we got to go over our rules. We have rules. Rule number 1 is that you are welcome to ask questions. That's the point of this show. It's a learning show. We ask questions. I mean, how do you know shit without asking questions? You have to ask. So that's what we promote. Rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. And most of my guests also do not know everything. And that's okay. Because if you don't know, you say you don't know. I mean, that's being truthful. We can look it up. I have an ultra long notepad today. I also have Google open so we can learn stuff together, which is always fun to do. Rule number 3, is the Patrick Swayze rule, and that's be nice until it's time not to be nice, but mainly be nice because that gets you along. You know, that builds relationships. It builds trust. If you're not nice, I mean, you can be in the chat room. You can debate. You can discuss. You can disagree. With me or with the guest or with other people. That's cool as long as you keep it polite. If it gets bad, Tim Vickers will vicar your ass out of the chat room. Donna's not here tonight. She's on vacation. So Tim is in the background filling in, which is awesome. He was available tonight. Rule number 4 is that if you do have questions, please put a capital Q in front of it in the chat because that way Tim can find it. He can save it for later. And then rule number 5 is my favorite, and that is to drink up. Oh. And I have some rum, which is not a surprise. So I'm going to put my special guest banner up. There we go. And I'm going to bring on our guest. There she is.
Hi.
Hello. This is Shay-Nanigans. I like that.
Thank you.
So, Shay.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. I feel so bad that I missed last week. I was supposed to be here and something came up and it was totally my fault. So I apologize.
It's okay. I mean, as long as you're here, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
I've been following you for a while now on TikTok. I love your channel.
Thank you.
You are funny. You have a great personality that flips around to all extremes. And it's just, sometimes I watch it and I see your videos come through my feed and I'm like, what the fuck is she doing?
She's so crazy. Is she okay?
She's weird. And I'm like, honey, look at this. Look at this. This is funny. But then I noticed that you did some videos where you were tracking down people. And that's what really caught my attention because the work that I do here at Center for Inquiry, sometimes I have to track down people, and the way you were doing it really stood out to me, and I really liked it. So I wanted to learn more. So I stalked your page. I watched all your videos.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was really, really interesting. So I want to ask you a question. First question I ask every guest is, what's your origin story? How did you get into finding people by their TikTok videos?
Specifically by their TikTok videos?
Or, anything else. You go off on like side rants if you want to.
I gotcha. So the first thing, I don't know why, but my ex posted that he bought a house. So I was like, oh, of course. I went and tried to find it on Zillow. And for some reason I was like, hey, maybe other people are this psycho too. I don't know. So let me just record this real quick and post it on TikTok. Because at the time I was just trying things out, seeing what would work. Sometimes I do something funny, a hack, a mom, something about being a mother or whatever. Nothing was really sticking. And then, I was like, yeah. So I like posted, this is what I do when somebody says they bought a house. And it was like me finding out where it was and looking through all the pictures and stuff and like finding out where they were and how much they paid for it and who they bought it from. And I mean, it got like 2 or 3 million views or something. And people were just like, oh my gosh, me too. And then finally somebody was like, well, that would never work with me because I'm in new construction. And like something about people challenging me that way really like sets a fire under my ass. And I'm like, you want to bet? Like, don't tell me I can't. So I mean, yeah, new construction is really hard because usually there's no street view and it's really hard to find the person. And this lady only had like 2 videos, but I swear it is all about luck because I went through her page and she had a partial address I can make out that was on one of the desks in one of her videos. And so I posted that video up next and said, well, I did. And then it just tumbled from there. People try me. And then it turned into how, people need to be safer. Because I'm like, oh my goodness, like you can find anyone. And I mean, even me, any people are like, oh, I found you all the time. And I'm like, I know. You're just not safe if you're posting. You're just not. So that's kind of how all that started. And then I just keep finding people, mostly the ones who say I can't, but
right. So you get a lot. I mean, most of your videos that I've seen over the last few months have been people commenting, "Do me next, find me," or the let's say the person that is very smug or very confident, and they're like, I bet you $50 you can't find me.
Those are my favorite.
I mean, that I guess that motivates you. And my question is, do any of these people pay up? All the ones that say they bet you.
I mean, it's funny because I would say almost all of them. There may have been like 3 people who haven't.
Awesome.
Yeah, they just do. I don't know why, and it's probably because they don't want people like attacking their page and coming after them, and they do. Like my followers would go comment on every single one of their videos and be like, "Pay her, you're smug, you're a jerk," or whatever. But yeah, so they do. I had a guy that didn't pay last week, but before that it had been a really long time, and I don't really take a lot of the bet ones. I just. People who like give me a compliment and are like, I'm a new follower and I'm so in love. Will you please try to find me? I love those just because they're just so sweet. I'm a sucker for compliments.
So you kind of mentioned about like safety and one of your videos is about safety tips. So, yeah. I mean, I guess this motivates you about not just taking a bet or a compliment or just a challenge. You do some work that benefits people, right?
I try to. I want people to learn from my page, especially the people who are asking me to find them, and I want them to obviously go take down those videos or change them so that they can be safer. And then a lot of people will comment and be like, oh, I've changed so many things and I've become so much safer because of your videos, thank you. But then it turned into, I get messages, tons of like private messages, and just oftentimes is people, can you please help me find somebody that, I haven't been in contact with for a long time, or I haven't ever met my real dad, or, it's all kinds of stuff. Wow. My kid was taken away from me, this, that, the other. And then I got a lot of attention for a video I did with somebody looking for child support they hadn't had in like 15 years, I think. So that kind of snowballed into people sending me a bunch of messages about, hey, find somebody who's delinquent on child support. It's not always baby daddies. It's baby mamas too. But I don't post a lot of those just because those people, the dads or the moms, didn't ask to be found. So I really don't want to be doxing anybody. But, and I black out all the information anyway. But I don't like to post a lot about those ones just because they didn't ask. So, but I do a lot of that on the side. Probably like 5 or 6 a day. I'll go and send them the information I have. And some of the times they already know the stuff I send them. And some of the times I help them get child support or find whoever it is that they lost. So we try.
That's awesome. You really should be proud of that, because there are so many people. And in my experience, just knowing so many people that have been left like that, where the mother or the father have taken out or taken off and just gone.
Yeah.
And when I started seeing some of them videos, you mentioning about it, and I think you only did, well, at least I only saw like one video where you helped someone and they were very appreciative, and you talked about it a little bit. But I think that's really nice of you that not only do you do that, but you don't publicize it like that.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't want to get in trouble, and like I don't,
Yeah.
I,
You
I don't know.
mentioned
It's not really about that, or like what's that?
you mentioned doxing. Can you explain what that is and what the difference is between what you do and what that is?
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of why I don't like post all of the big daddy baby mama
Right.
stuff, is because doxing is like when you publicize private information about somebody, specifically with malintent or malicious intent or whatever. But I don't really do that, because when I do find people, they've asked, and I black out any information that they actually had public on their websites, or it was public anyway, but I do them the service of blacking it out so other people can't find it. And everything I find about them is public. So it isn't any private information. And if there is, like, if I end up finding, like, I don't even know if I find stuff that's private. I don't really
I mean, I'm curious now, and I don't know if you know this, but like what would be considered private information? Like if
in the U.S., not much.
I know, like
I mean,
addresses are public records.
Everything is. I mean, arrest records,
it's all out there.
Registries. Yeah, I mean, phone numbers. It's all public. I mean, we had a phone book not too long ago.
Oh my goodness, you remember that? I didn't think you were old enough to remember that.
Of course, I still use it. No, I'm just kidding. I should. There's probably people's grandmas and stuff in there that could help me.
I mean, when it comes to white pages, I use it all the time. Just finding where people lived, not only like now, but back in like 1920s, 1930s.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm trying to find addresses and trace people back.
Can you use Ancestry.com?
Yes, I do use that a lot. And I mean, I also use a lot of services. I mean, I use services like Truth Finder, background checkers sometimes, just to verify who someone is. And that brings up a lot of like criminal records and all that. But you also have to agree, like you're using this information, but you're not using it maliciously. You're not going to use it against someone to ruin their character or anything like that. And that's not what I'm using. I'm pretty much using it just to verify whether I got an address right, or I need contact information to try to reach out to someone.
Yep, that makes sense.
But I do like how you block out information, even when people ask, like they ask you or challenge you in a friendly way, or sometimes not so friendly. Some I noticed some of the guys are dicks. Like they're really cocky when it comes to challenging you. And,
they are. I swear it's the guys. The girls are always like, I'm so not safe. I'm so scared. Will you show my kids or show me what to do? And it's the guys who are like, you're never going to find me. And it's the first video on their page. And I'm like, I don't even want to make a video about you, because it's just too easy. No one's going to think I'm even good anymore.
Right. So how easy / hard is it? I mean, do you always find someone? Does it?
No. I mean, people ask that question all the time, though. No, I mean, I'll go through like 5 or 6 different comments, because I go and I save them to my favorites when people ask, and then I go through those and I try to start at the bottom, and there'll be 4 or 5 I can't find. But granted, I have so many I can go through that I don't really try so hard, unless it's like I'll give up after like 20 minutes. And so I can usually find the people around 15, 20 minutes, 30 if they're betting me money or they really pissed me off. If they say like, you're a scammer, you're a fake, all these people, I'm like, okay, I'm giving this person an hour. I'm really going to find them. But
I love that.
I mean, it's the sad thing is that it's too easy. I mean, people just everything they have, anything you have. And every day I think I know all the things you can have to say safe. And then I find something else that I didn't know I could use to find somebody. And it's like, just don't post. There's literally nothing that you can post.
I agree. And before the show, we were talking about like how I work with tracking down some psychics and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and trying to find information on people they either read or information about themselves where
Mhm.
they claim, hey, like I never said this, or say for example, I was watching a psychic give a reading to a lady like a couple days ago, and she made mention of, or he made mention of her brother. Because out of nowhere, he's like, "Who's Buddy?" And the lady's like, "Well, that's my brother, and he passed away like a couple years ago." And it was like, "Wow, this happened in real time. How is this possible?" And before maybe like 30 seconds to a minute was up, I was able to find her post on Facebook about this.
That's
And I'm like,
exactly how I would go
right
about
there.
it.
It's right there. And it just boggles my mind that all of this information is out there. It's so easy
Yeah.
to find.
I never even thought about that. You're right. I mean, all these mediums and stuff, they just look up, they know the person, they have a schedule with them, and they just look them up before they get there.
Yeah.
Why do they, I mean, it's just like the people who don't think I can find them. They're the same suckers that go in there and like, oh my gosh, how'd you know Bobby? Well, it was on your Facebook 2 days ago that Bobby died.
Right.
I mean,
And it's and I try to track it in real time. And I did it in like 30 seconds to a minute. I found all of this.
crazy.
And like you said, they already know. Like
Yeah.
when I deal with psychics that sign up for like an online event, they sign up weeks in advance.
Right.
So, I mean, when you say 15 to 20 minutes, that I love that. I totally respect that because that's like 15 to 20 minutes. You can find where someone lives. That's great. Just based on some of the information. And I want to get into more detail about that, but just based on like pictures and video, not even actually looking them up, right? You don't do a background check.
No, I mean, I'm not going to pay for that.
Right. I don't pay for it either. Work.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it makes it easy.
Yeah, maybe if I had to like. No, I mean, that guy that bid me 500. I didn't have to do it on him. He was too easy.
That's awesome.
Ridiculous.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, imagine if someone told you, "Hey, I'm going to pay you like $250," and they give you like 3 weeks advance notice.
Right.
I mean, look at you. You're like done in 20 minutes. You got your feet kicked up. You're drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done.
I would know every mole on their body. Their skin would be drying behind me before we even.
Well, that's another aspect I want to touch on. I love you have this like overarching theme throughout some of your videos where you like start and end your either or. I think sometimes correct me if I'm wrong, but you have this like really weird like almost serial killer kind of thing. Like,
well, that's what they need to be scared of. So it kind of started there, like, I need to scare these people, so let's put the scary music on. And then it was like, I mean, I love horror stuff, and I love Halloween and everything else. And I mean, I've got the Grim Reaper on my shirt, but
nice.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, if I can just be as weird as I want, and and then people, maybe they'll be scared because that could happen. Yes, you're going to be tied up in this dungeon that I just found from your third video. Like,
right. Especially, I love that there was 1 or 2 videos where you did a crab walk.
I love those.
And that's how you like open the video, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. I love this. Or like when you're hiding behind a pillar and you're just like, hi, and you're you really have it. But I think your explanation there is important because that, like you said, it really could happen.
Yeah.
And this is why I was so intrigued, and this is why I really wanted to have you on and talk to you because there are bad people out there, and we see news segments all the time where they set up stings for like the old guys that prey on young girls, and try to show up at their houses.
Oh, I would love to be a part of that.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
But I also go to, like, I just did a presentation at a high school, and I've done a couple presentations to different grades where I talk about looking people up and mostly in relation to psychics, but it turns into a safety presentation where
Yeah.
I tell them, like, I already know what school you go to. I know what classroom you're in.
That's
And
so
I can look up
scary.
yearbooks. I can find out where you live. I can find out all this information if I was a bad person. But
Right.
don't worry, the school has my license. They know who I am. But this is a big safety issue.
Yeah.
And like what you drill in some of your videos about safety for your kids. And you go down a list. I have a list of stuff. You have one video where you had it up. And again, I totally stalked your page.
You must have, because that video is so old and people ask for it all the time and I can't even find it. I'm like, it's in there somewhere.
But you went through it's basically just text on the screen.
Yeah.
And it goes through tips on how to stay safe from one of your videos. Oh, it says avoid these things for safe posting: ultrasounds, door cameras, mailbox with numbers, license plates, kids' school awards, and anything with the school's name on it, your whole name. Watch who you tag, they could give it away. Don't tag places, local signs. If you have other socials linked, make sure they follow the same rules as above. Street signs in the background, identifying landmarks, fridge magnets with location.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I was like, damn.
I always look at people's fridges. I'll be downloading and zooming in on fridges all day.
I really like the unboxing address.
Yeah, you think that one would be common sense these days, but people will be like, I've been following you forever. And I'll go to their page. They're like, I think I'm safe. I follow all your rules. I'm like, you're unboxing like 50 videos and your address is showing in all of them. Like, why?
Right. Yeah, tracking numbers on boxes. And I've done that. I've done that where I saw that the tracking number was large enough that I put it on my big screen at home and I scanned it and it came up with the tracking number. And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I've discovered something.
I mean,
I didn't know it would work either. I found someone through a QR code just by trying to scan it through their video. It's crazy.
Amazing. Pieces of mail, make your profile private and followers.
And your
private.
Followers. Yes.
Yeah. And this last one you had on here, I've done before. I've used this. Venmo and Cash App.
Yes.
Apps have your full name on them. And I've tracked down people from that because it's like they'll have usernames for everything.
Yeah.
And then you see their Cash App or the Venmo and go to that and boom, their full name is right there.
It has never not been their full name.
Yeah.
Every time I have ever clicked on someone's Venmo or Cash App, it's their full name. Every single time. I'm like, wow, it's crazy because mine's not like that. The other thing is they think they're safe posting their P.O. boxes, but that gives you your city. I mean, you're not going to go too far to your P.O. box.
Right.
Post that.
Right.
That's not being safe and getting a P.O. box. I know your city. I'm going to look you up in the tax records. I mean,
you're not getting away. You're not.
No.
You challenge.
I'm having eyeball soup tonight. I mean,
what's so how you probably don't know exactly what time, but how quick was the quickest one that you've ever found someone? Like
I swear there was one last week that was like, I mean, at least twice a month, I can find somebody in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, I've probably found someone in around a minute. I mean, sometimes I'm like typing as fast as I can because I'm like, I know it's going to be an easy one. And so I'm making the video as fast as I can and I can have the whole thing recorded and posted in like 3 minutes just so I can be like, look how fast I found this person. But I mean, I don't try to do all the easy ones just because I want people to be interested in the videos too. And like, if I just keep going, oh, look, their address was posted on their fridge. That's not really, I'm not investigating anything there.
Right.
So I'll just respond back to those people. Well, here's your house number. And then they know I found them and I don't really make a video about them. But if it's something hard or interesting or different, I like to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you want more of a challenge. Like,
yeah.
If it's too easy, it gets boring and
right.
You're not going to want to do it anymore. So like 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks, I sent you a message and said one of my viewers, because after I posted that you were going to be on, one of my viewers, Dr. Jim, he wanted to throw out a challenge. He wanted to volunteer to be a challenge. And I sent you a message and said, like he said, it's all right. He wants to be found to see if you can actually find him. This, I want to talk about it because this goes back to how psychics do stuff, which is important.
Right.
But so I gave you that challenge. You said, okay, I'll be right back. And like, son of a bitch, man. 2 minutes later, you were like, here's the address. Here's a picture of the house. I was like, okay, all right. Let me.
And I thought he was rather safe, honestly, because I looked at him and I can't remember now because I've done so many since then, but I'm pretty sure his profile picture was like a cartoon.
Yes.
Okay. And then I don't think he had his full name or anything.
Let's see.
Did you give me his TikTok or did you give me his Facebook?
I gave you Facebook because I didn't think he had a TikTok, and that's all I had of him. Let's see. Dr. Jim. So I gave you that, and 2 minutes later you came back with the information.
Yeah, he didn't have his city or anything on there, I don't believe, and then he only had maybe like 6 pictures or something. I remember it just being very vague, but somehow I found a obituary from maybe his brother or dad.
So this was something that we talked about, and I also had talked about with him just to make sure it was okay. But his son had passed away.
It was his son. That's right.
And I think the very first post was about his son. So it was able to look at his obituary and find out
who the dad was. They always talk about the relatives, where they're from and all that stuff.
Right.
And I think it was recent too. So I was like, I don't want to talk about this one. I think pretty recently. And I was like, that's just a little.
That was very nice of you. Because you were concerned about that. You didn't want to bring it up because you didn't want to be mean about it or feel like you were using that that bad experience for this. But I did talk to him, and he understands like the work that we do and why I'm doing this. So he was okay with it. So the point here is that you were able to find his address, like his home. And as you put it, where he poops, because I love that part of it too. It's like people are always like, "Where do I poop? Show me where I poop." And you're like, "Okay, here we go."
That part's even more challenging because you got to be able to find inside pictures. It's like, killing me.
But you were able to find his address because of there he is. Absolutely no problem, guys. Jim Kloss, yes. You were able to find him because of that, and the point is that if somebody goes to a psychic or a medium and wants to have a reading of a recently departed loved one, and we talked about it earlier, all you have to do is scroll through Facebook, and when you see that memorial, you see somebody saying, "Oh, I missed them," and putting up pictures. Yeah, it gives you a name. It usually gives you a date or at least a time frame, and then you can search for an obituary. And then find out the rest of the family, and then from there, it's a snowball effect going downhill.
And then there's like even on the page where you can send flowers and stuff, you can find their old comments and who they're related to, and it's an endless search from there on.
Yeah, and it's just so much information can pop up. So, I mean, I don't know if you can come up with some details, but like, what are some of the weird things that you have found? Maybe that have led you to figure out where they are. Like, what's some of the weirdest stuff that you found in videos?
The one that comes to mind is when I could see the back porch and the fenced-in yard, and I believe a pergola through somebody's microwave reflection. And I was giving up on her, and then I finally zoomed in on that, and I was like, okay, I can sort some of this stuff in Zillow, and I might be able to find this house, and I can see that from the aerial view, so it helped tremendously. So I did find her, and I mean, just reflections in people's glasses, the sticker on the side of the window where it tells you where they get their oil changed, so you can find their city, state, things like that.
I like that. I mean, I'm always searching for street signs.
Yeah.
I'm searching for. You mentioned on your list there was like, let's see, local signs. Local signs are a big thing.
Yeah,
You
like
can find them.
advertisements and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tagging places. Um, like I go to a lot of thrift stores. I go to a lot of like flea markets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to take video as I was going through because I thought, oh, maybe I'll do one of those channels where like, we're bargain hunting, we're going
I've
through
watched
looking for
that.
stuff. I
I'm
do
all
all
for
the
that.
time. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh, me too.
But then I thought like, well, if I do this, then people will know exactly where I am all the time because like if they see price tags, if they see the outside of the store,
Yeah. That brings up a good point. I found somebody off of like the meat package last week. There was only one of those stores. It was like a market I had never heard of. Luckily, there was only one, and it was in New York. So now I knew her city and state. But yes, also like Ross stickers. It has a store number on it, so you can find. Yeah. So if you're out shopping, good point.
I had so this was a couple of years ago. There was a film on Amazon. It's called The Blackwall Ghost, and it was billed as a documentary.
Yeah.
And I started looking into it, and I found a lot of inconsistencies with some of the features. The guy lived in Kentucky. He claimed to have been flying to Pennsylvania to investigate a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a lot of clues that he wasn't in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is my home state, so
Yeah.
I kind of knew some of the things he was looking for, and I knew
I
they
know where
were
you live.
okay. Oh, do you?
Here's his pooper.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
Good job.
No, but go ahead.
But I have two. Make sure you get the right one.
Right. Which one do you use mostly?
Yeah. So I went through the whole film. I wrote an article about it. And I actually talked to the guy that made the film, and he was surprised about how much I had found out. Just by watching details in the background. But there was one thing that I didn't find. And another somebody that follows my work picked it out because they were a local. And there was a scene where the guy's going down to the basement, and he opens the basement door, he goes down the stairs, and along the stairs there's like hooks for coats and stuff like that. And there's a bag, and it said I think it said like OB or OBK or something like that. It was a symbol, and it was for a local fried chicken place, like a mom and pop shop, and there's only one, and that's it, and it's from this guy's hometown where he was actually filming. And I didn't pick that up because I had no idea, but this follower did, and they would track it down and say, oh yeah, you're right, there's only one, and the guy lives like 10 minutes from this place. Like, this is awesome. All right, so that would have been a clue if I would have known.
Yeah.
Would have told me like exactly that. But now, because of that, I've always looked in the background.
Yes.
So I'll tell you a fun story. The same movie, I'm trying to find the house that's allegedly in Pennsylvania. I found out that it's in Kentucky, and I found that it was in Lexington, Kentucky, and I didn't have any other information except for what the front of the property looked like. So I knew, like, between the sidewalk and the curb, there was grass, but it was wide enough for a car to fit on. Like, I'm used to growing up in neighborhoods where, like, you had a sidewalk and then there was like that much grass.
Yeah.
So I saw this, and I actually went in Google Satellite and went street by street until I found a neighborhood that had that. And then I went up and down the streets until I found the house. And I was like, oh, look at this. That's cool.
That's me every day. I feel like I know so much more about the geography of the United States. I mean, it's crazy.
Do you know that there's people that, and I've seen them where you just send them a picture of something, just a picture of like a town or city, and they pinpoint exactly where you are in the world without any information of like what city or town or country you're in.
Wow.
And they can do like
There is a guy on TikTok that does that. I think it's just like a quick video of where you're standing. but he uses all kinds of like metadata and stuff, and I don't know how he does it, but I don't know.
It's
IP address or something. It's pretty crazy. He probably goes to their profile, figures out where they're from, and then looks for. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that hard, but still harder than what I do.
Some of them, like, they look at street signs and like, oh, well, that's the street sign that's usually in Germany and this and that. I'm like,
oh wow,
all this stuff.
You need other people's help. Like today, I was hoping I made my video from today. I was finding somebody whose son was actually kidnapped from her grandmother's by the dad, and he's 5. And so I went to the dad's Instagram, but I couldn't figure out what kind of car the boy was standing in front of, and I needed to figure out what. I found the complex that he lived in, but I needed to know what apartment number, or at least which, there was like 5 buildings.
Right.
And so I had him standing in front of the car, and I was going on Google Maps looking for that car, but I wasn't sure what kind of car it was. And then I was like, I'm just going to post the video. And somebody immediately was like, that's a Kia Soul, 2013 or whatever. And they were right. I looked it up, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely it. And then I was able to send her. I'm like, he's in this building on the 2nd floor.
That's awesome.
Probably to the left. Whatever number that is.
Right to the left. Give me a call when you get there. I'll guide you right to the front door.
Yep.
That's awesome.
When you see a purple flower, take.
How's that make you feel? That's got to make you feel good. That you can help.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like my mom and both of my sisters are nurses and doctors, and like I'm always like, oh, you're gonna go to work and save lives today. How cool! Like it must be great. I'm just doing nothing with my life, and then I come on this and I'm like, well, I helped somebody, or somebody will like comment, like you've made my life so much safer, and I took down pictures of my kids, and I'm like, oh, I did something, no matter how small. Like it feels really good to be contributing, when I literally spent my whole life like wishing I could save somebody's life or something, like my mom and my sisters do. So
yeah, everybody does their own thing, and I think what you're doing is it's a skill that not everybody has, and it takes patience. I mean, even though you say some of these people you find in like 20 minutes or so, sometimes you take longer, but you still have the patience to do it.
Yeah,
going
it's the
through
drive.
Yes.
You would need more patience if you didn't want to, but me, I want to, and I love hunting, hunting sharks' teeth, antiques. I'm like, I am a harvester, a hunter, like to the grave. But yeah, it's I mean, I wasn't as good as I am now, but
right.
Talking about where this started from, like, I hate to admit this, but I got like catfished. Probably how many years ago was that? Maybe 10, 11 years ago now. And trying to find the guy, I had to go down every avenue possible to try to figure out who this person was, because I was not going to be made a fool of. And I learned a lot from that. But I should probably go back and try to find him now, because I never did. But I didn't know what I know now. But that's what kind of led me down I'm okay at this, and I can use this to find out information I want to know about people or whatever it is.
I think the more you do it, the more you learn.
Yeah.
The more you realize that there's other avenues you can go through, or different video. I mean, looking at videos and pictures, I'm always by my self-training, and I'll explain that in a second, but self-training, I look in the background. I always look at the background details, and I do that because, like, for me, when I'm trying to understand how like a ghost photo was taken, or a UFO, or any kind of weird photo was taken, I have to look at the background and look at the details, look at the shadows, look at the objects that might create a shadow, or the depth.
Yep. Like, where the light's coming from. Yeah.
Right. So looking in the background for other reasons, like trying to find a location, like what's that street sign in the back? What's that shopping center in the back? Oh, wait, we saw a video and they drive past a shopping center real quick. If I go frame by frame, I can spell out what that shopping center is and then figure out where they are. Okay, that's cool. And these are little things you don't think of right away. Like if somebody tells you, hey, try to find me, you don't think right away, well, I'm going to look at your videos and, go frame by frame. It's when you start looking you start thinking of new ideas.
Yeah.
And you get these skills, and I love that.
It's fun. Like, oh yeah, I can see a pool from the aerial view. So now I always look for pools. And like, I found a barn last week, and it was a really big red barn. And I was like, I can find that because this person already told me she was rural. So there's not that. I mean, there's not going to be a barn next to a barn next to a barn. So I'm like, I go barn to barn and look and see if this house matches. Is it next to a white house? Is it next to that? And it's just the little things. Yeah. I mean, that was just this week. I mean, I learned that, and like different colored roofs. I found someone just off the shape of a tree on a turn because I looked for the turn on the street, and I knew there would be a huge oak there with moss on it. And so I looked for all the turns in that city.
That's awesome.
Small town.
Oh, I laugh because like that makes me nerd out. Like I'm totally nerding out on this, geeking out because I'm like, this is great. This is such like an attention to detail that is beyond. If my wife was sitting here, she'd be like, "You guys are fucking nuts." Like, there's no way I would.
I am. I love being nuts.
I know it's fun. It's so much fun, but you get to learn. And again, like I can't say it enough. I like that you do it not only for fun with some people that love the challenge and they love having fun going back and forth, and it makes for great content. But I also love that you're using your superpowers for good, and that you're helping people. And even though you like mentioned like your I think your sister and your mother, is that what you both the nurses? Is that what you?
2 sisters and a mom, yep.
Okay, yeah. And that they go off and they're saving lives every day, but you're also doing a lot of good too because you're helping families out that desperately need help. And some of them
feels really good. I mean, and I don't ever forget those people that I have helped. I mean, like it means a lot to me. So yeah, I love it. I love it. It's really given me purpose. As stupid as that is, that TikTok did that. But I mean, I needed to find something to use it for good when it just became me finding people every day. And then it finally turned into, found this person's lost sibling that, and people like to reach out to me all the time. Like I was adopted and I found people's parents and they were adopted. They've been looking for their parents forever. People call, message me. I'm crying. Like I just met my dad for the first time, blah, blah, blah things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. Like how easy was that? And like, it took me, or people would be like, oh, wow. Like child services have been looking for 12 years and you found it in 12 minutes. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous. Like, I need to work there. Like, send me the cases. I'll do them for free. I do it for free. I mean, I ask for a tip, but people who are looking for child support, they can't afford a tip. And I don't care. Whatever. Right.
It's just doing the work, and you get that satisfaction from actually doing it. This is exactly what I call the Scooby-Doo effect, because you solve the mystery. And that's the satisfaction.
Yes.
That's the high that you get.
That is.
I found it. That's awesome.
$20 is not going to add to the high. I promise you. Keep it.
But, I mean, it's okay. Don't knock it. Like, that's still lunch.
Yeah, I'll take the 20, but I'm already just happy that you're happy.
That's awesome. Now, this isn't your, like, I mean, it's obvious it's not your full-time job, but do you do something else? You don't have to get into it if you don't want to.
And I thought maybe you would ask this question. I tried to think about how I would answer it, but now I'm like 6 years in, and
now you're on the spot. You don't have. We can skip it.
No.
It's okay.
I mean, no. People ask all the time though. Like, do you do this? Do you work for the FBI? This, that, and the other. No, I don't. I'm not an investigator or anything. I work in 8:30 to 5. From home. It's the same job I've had for 10 years, but I've been working from home for 6 years because we moved away. But just a desk job, admin thing. I don't want to say what, because then I feel like people can look me up.
Right. And you don't. I figured that, and I kind of was like, do I ask this? I don't know. I mean, I ask that at everybody, but I understand because you are
the answer. Yeah.
I mean, you are finding people. So I think you mentioned it in the beginning of the show, like people have found you. Does that freak you out?
Yeah. And I'm like, why do people ask me to find them? Because the people who have sent me my address, or actually people have made videos without my consent, And I don't give consent to anyone to find me, but they do it, and they'll make a video and be like, look who I found. And I'm like horrified, and they don't black out anything. And I'm like, I mean, at the end of the day, I know I have stuff in my videos that doesn't keep me safe, but I also take my videos in front of an 800-pound safe that's full of things you don't want to see. So come to my house. But
you're like, come on, bitches, come
like,
at me.
Want me to open the safe and show you what's in there? But no, I mean, if I haven't freaked you out enough, do you really want to come to my house?
Yeah, I mean,
I know what we're having for dinner, but
I've seen the crab walks. I've seen the sketchy side eye like stuff. I wouldn't come to your. I mean,
right?
Only if invited, but I'm not coming to your house. No,
no, but yeah, it freaks me out. And then I tell people are like, "Oh, guess what? I found you." I'm like, "Cool, like keep it to yourself. Like that's great." But like, I didn't ask to be found, so please don't post a picture of my house online. Like I'm already unsafe enough.
And that kind of sucks. I mean, if they're following you, I mean, is this? Do you think it's like a vindictive kind of thing? Like, oh, you do this to everybody, I'm going to show you.
Oh, maybe 50% ish. But like not like they don't mean it totally that way. They just want to be like, look, haha, like I'm having fun with it, but like they don't know the harm that they could be doing. Like I guess. Right. And they're just not safe with it. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I didn't ask, so just don't do it.
All right, everyone, don't try to find her. All right.
It's too easy. I know you can do it. You're not proving anything.
But it can freak you out. I mean, I don't. For me, I know I'm not safe. And when we're talking about safe, like I know I've posted videos, and everyone knows where I work. It's not a secret. Yeah. Everyone knows I live close by. It's not a secret. And plenty of people have come up and visited. So I'm not really too concerned about that. Because even the people that hate me, I'm just too far away. They're too lazy. They're not going to drive up. that's
just for that.
Yeah, just to, take me out.
Right. Well, that's a good point. With people who think that they're safe and they're online being like online Karens all day and bullying people. But my gosh, you know how easy it is to find you? How hard do you want to bully someone these days? Because they could show up at your house. Like you can't just be mean online anymore and hide behind your keyboard because it's easy to find you. And I mean, even the people who should be found because they're assholes. But I'm just saying.
You're right, though. I mean, it's some of the stuff. I mean, again, going back to your list. I mean, so many people post like door camera videos.
Yeah,
and they don't realize like your mailbox is in view.
And the person across the street, you see their address.
Yes.
Their house number,
or license plate. If they back into the driveway, you get to see the license plate.
Yeah.
So I don't ever post that. That's just something I don't do.
Well, actually, I have many times, and it has my house number on my door, but...
What the hell, Shay?
I'm stupid. I've just done it so many times that it's like, okay, this one's in there, but oh my gosh, I have 80 other videos of it anyway from 2 years ago before I knew what I was doing.
Do you ever go back and try to remove some of them?
I haven't. No.
No?
I really need to. Yeah. But I definitely don't post pictures of like my kids' school. I haven't never done that. Just because, my gosh, schools are so unsafe anyway. Like, I do not want anyone to know where my kids go to school.
Yeah. Because that's
even more terrifying.
Yeah. Just because people are really fucked up anymore, to be honest. And if you piss off someone, I would hate for them to just even if they put the thread out like, oh, I hope your son has a good day at school today at so and so. That would freak me out. Like,
I'd take him out. He'd be homeschooled.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God.
I already don't like sending them just because of threats of people who don't hate me, just random people who could just be a school shooter that day. But
right.
I don't really have the choice or the brain width to homeschool them.
I don't either. I mean,
so they're going to have to go out there and wear their vests and, just hope for the best.
My son's a straight A student, which is completely not what I was. I was more class clown, and a nerd.
Wow. Okay. Well, how are you both?
What? Oh, a nerd as in not like a smart nerd. I was a comic book geek kind of nerd. So,
but had like a lot of friends, but in a nerd group.
I had my own little nerd
Okay.
group. Yeah. But I like to make fun of people.
Well, what is the not nerd group? What do they look like?
Jocks.
Who decided that?
I don't know. Like I grew up in the 80s.
I like the skateboarding group. That would be the cool group to me. The jocks are. Yeah. I would not want to hang out with them.
No, I don't.
Always jerks. And
I don't think growing up I didn't have any skateboard. Well, I had one guy, one buddy that was a skateboarder.
They were always nice and down to earth and fun party. Yeah. So,
but they're like, and I'm not saying this mean, but they're like the outcasts too, maybe. Because I always felt like an outcast, because I was just a nerd, and I liked comic books and action figures and video games, and I didn't care about sports at all. I still don't care about sports. I mean, anytime football or baseball is on, I'm usually here working, and my wife is home with the big screen watching it, and she's got the jerseys on and food going. And
poor thing, she's by herself.
I feel bad. I sometimes I try to be there, and just sit. Like I'll sit in the dining room, which is behind our living room, and just play on my laptop, and like she yells at the TV, and then she turns around and she's like, "Did you see that pass? Did you see that?"
I love football now, but baseball, no. My son plays soccer, so I'm getting into that because that's really fun to watch. But I was gonna say, even in those groups, there's the outcasts within those. I'm the skinny one. I'm the fat one. I'm not the smart one. I'm not the good-looking one. I don't have the girlfriends. So there's always sub-outcast groups within the popular groups and everything else. So it's just people are always just too hard on themselves.
Yeah. So, now I hang out with all the science nerds. So
they're not nerds.
They're not nerds. We're popular now. Science people are popular thanks to Big Bang Theory. Yeah. We're pretty popular. We're cool now.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our break. So we have a 4-minute commercial that runs. So you get 4 minutes to like do any kind of personal stuff you got to do, and then refill your cup with another beverage if you want to.
Will do.
And then we will come back and do some viewer questions if we have any.
Cool.
So everyone watching, this is your chance. Put some questions. Put a bunch of questions in the chat room. So Tim has work to do during the break.
How do I add some?
And my phone went off. That's weird. My phone has been freaking out the last week or so. It just randomly starts playing music.
Investigate that.
I'm gonna, because it's I don't know why. It's just like sometimes 4 a.m, it just goes off, starts playing music. And
my house has been doing some weird shit recently too. Check the time on that, so it see if it does weird shit at the same time every day.
All right, people. So let's see. Let me get the video up here. So we got 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Again, put your questions in the chat. So Tim has something, and we will come back in 4 minutes from now.
Okay.
Oh, caught you.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Oh, thank you. Welcome back.
No, you.
No, you welcome back to this show. You're taking over my show now. That's
I'm
all right.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Don't worry. It's a bar. Everyone can take over.
Yeah.
Do what they want.
Can you refill my drink though?
I did. See, look, you held it up. I did that like.
It's a little frothy. You didn't top it off.
Well, sorry. Okay. All right. I think people were shy tonight. We got a couple questions, but not a lot. So we're gonna have to keep talking. All right. So let me see. What do we got, Tim? I know you're lurking in the background. There you are. Hey, Kenny. Does she suffer with OCD?
Why do they think that? No.
Not diagnosed.
I really don't. No. Suffer?
Summer, I don't think it's
I
suffer.
love it.
I embrace it. It keeps me going every day.
There's no suffering about it.
I always say that I have self-diagnosed OCD because I do get obsessed with certain things. If I get onto a mystery, like I love Scooby-Doo are like my idols. I mean, I love mysteries. So when when something starts, like, I'm on the hunt. That's what I want to say. When I'm on the hunt and I'm like, oh, I'm tracking down, I'm getting leads, I'm doing this and doing that. And then next thing you know, like my phone goes off and I realize like it's 7:00 at night and I'm still sitting here. And my wife's like, are you coming home? And I'm like, oh.
Wow. So were you a Blue's Clues lover?
Blues. My son was. So.
Oh, you're a little older than me, but I think that's what started it.
A little older than you, I think. But no, for me, it was Scooby-Doo because I grew up watching that. And then also there was Johnny Quest. So I'm really showing my age with that, I think.
But hardly ever watched that.
That kind of thing, like, oh, in context, Christopher was referencing having OCD and focus on the target. Focusing on the target would match. Because I personally do, and talk to Howie Mandel, it is definitely considered suffering. I mean, I don't have like a diagnosed OCD. I don't think you do either. But I'm not a medical professional, so I wouldn't know. But
no, and I have like the opposite of addictive personality, which I think is also the opposite of OCD. I don't obsess over things. I wish I did more. I almost have a lack of connection to things sometimes, in a way.
Do you find like there's some days where you just don't do anything? Is that
no,
what you mean?
I mean, I just feel like I can just, I feel like I can move on from things too easily. I almost wish I connected and was more reliant on things. I just feel like I'm not like most normal people. I feel like would be connected to things a little more than I am. Animals of mine. I mean, like I get upset like when they pass, but like people will mourn forever, and I'm like, I just know how to cut it off. I just block it too easy. I don't want to. Like I don't want to do that, but I do it. Right. I think I learned a good mechanism a while ago to just cut it off and move on to kind of save yourself, and I just use it too much. Yeah. So.
I can relate. I understand. I mean, people pass away, or even a dog. We're dog people. So when a dog passed away, and we just had to put down our dog like a year and a half ago, I think now. And we have a new puppy, but like that was hard. And for a day or two, it hit me hard. But all right, I'm done. I got to get over it and get moving. I get it. And even with the work that I do now, every case that I do, as soon as I either write an article about it or I make a video about it, as soon as I finish and send it off to be published, I'm done. Like, I am done with that.
Your emotions went with it.
Yes, everything is gone. And
that's how I feel sometimes too. I almost like not going to say forget, but like with my line of work, like if I'm done with one transaction, it's like once it's out of my hands, even though it was personal for those people, I forget they exist. Like,
wow.
I mean, it's just done.
Okay.
It's just done. I got to the next thing to do. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I do have to go back to certain things. Like if I do like an interview or like a newspaper article or something calls and they want to talk about a certain subject, then I have to go back and look at the notes. I have to
right.
read my article. I have to bust out the file. I still have file cabinets, so I have to bring out the file and look through it because I have to refresh myself because I'm like, all right, well, I was done with that a week ago and
Right.
done.
18 seconds ago so now I'm not supposed to remember that.
Yep. If
It's
I
like
publish at 9:00 tonight, tomorrow morning I'll wake up done.
It is wiped from. I mean, your
Yep.
brain only has so much capacity. When you're as smart as you and I, you just can't store it all.
Cheers. I'm right there with you.
You got to pick and choose what you store these days.
Yeah, because there is so much. All right, what else we got, Tim? We got anything else? Oh, Susan Kerbick. Susan works a lot with psychics. She does a lot of sting operations.
Really?
She says she has a powerful TikTok channel. That's you. Can she please get the message out about hot reading grief vampires like Thomas John, who also is big on TikTok? By the way, he does not do the work that she does. Oh, so Thomas John claims to be a medium.
Okay.
Like a medium. And his technique that we've been able to see, because we've studied him for a while, mostly Susan. But what we see is that he usually has an assistant looking up information on people and messages Thomas John, who is the medium. So he gets a little message window in the bottom. So when you're talking to him on Zoom, you can see him going like this.
Oh no!
And reading off information.
Scam.
So he already has the information beforehand, and he passes it off like he's talking to,
and she's asking me to shed light on that.
So I think she's wondering, like, if you could, like shed some light on it about like what we were talking about, like how psychics can do some of these tricks. And
I will shed light on that.
I would.
I don't want to technically ruin somebody's career or put anyone out of business.
That's tough.
What you want to do, but I will bring to light the fact that psychics use this information. I think that's a really cool other aspect of it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I'll work with you on that. If you want like specific information or examples, I can give it to you just so you can have something to reference. And then of course, Susan is always happy to some information.
And cool, man. I would love to work with you on if you need help finding somebody or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're on my list already. I'll tell you that right now. Like I'm pretty good because I do have a lot of subscriptions to different services, let's say.
Okay.
So I can usually find people pretty quickly. But sometimes if I'm only basing it off of like a movie or a video clip, then I like having extra eyes. So you are on my list.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It'd be fun.
All good resources. All right, Tim, do we have any of that? Oh, look at Tim's on the ball. I love it. Daniel Reed, he's one of our writers for Skeptical Inquirer magazine. Do you have a list of resources that you could recommend for investigating?
Oh my gosh, this lady messaged me the other day. I'm gonna have to look it up. But she was like, hey, have you ever used, and I need to go look and see what it was, but it was the craziest thing I'd ever looked up, because it's like, if you're looking for this, you just say, what are you looking for? And then you click on this and it gives you like 20 websites that can help you find that. And then there's like subcategories with 20 more websites. It was like a search engine for what search engine do I need? It was the coolest thing. And I was like, honestly, I don't have time for all that. That's a really detailed. And I was like, that's amazing. I didn't know that existed, but I was like, that's too much work. But God, cool. I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe you can post that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That's it. Yes. Oz. What is that? Oz?
OSINT.
That's it. Look it up. Have you ever heard of it?
We're looking this up.
It is the craziest thing. I can't wait for you to see this.
Oh, hey. Come on, work. There we go. OSINT. What is that?
It's like an
Open
interface.
source intelligence is a collection, analysis, and dissemination of information that is publicly available and legally accessible.
Oh, legally. See, I like that.
Right now is used by organizations including governments, businesses, and non-governmental organizations. That's awesome.
Like, click on the website. It's literally like the most basic thing, and it's just click down, drop down menus. Like
username. Oh my goodness. Domain name.
Like, what are you searching for? Where do you need it to go? And here's where you can find that information.
Wow.
Right?
This is awesome.
Yeah, save that to your favorites bar. That thing is cool.
Oh, I'm not going home tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that is a rabbit hole of rabbit holes.
That is. I love tools like this.
They're really cool. It's almost like the Craigslist of investigators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Wow. Why would Daniel know about that site?
What? Why wouldn't he?
Oh, because Daniel's a freak.
I don't know Daniel.
No, I'm kidding. Daniel's a nice guy. We just we hung out last weekend, I think. Yeah, at the Mothman Festival. He was one of the guys I was hanging out with.
I want to know about those festivals. You said West Virginia?
Yeah, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. They have it every year. Have you ever heard of the Mothman?
No. What? So wait, they have it every year at the same time?
About the same time.
If it's anything scary, I want to go. So what is it?
So it's not. I mean, the legend is kind of scary. So basically, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of this. Basically, in 1956 or 64, I forget. Daniel, Tim, somebody correct me. I think it was 64. There was a sighting in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. There were two couples out in like this field area. And they were coming home, driving down a road that was really dark, and their headlights hit a creature. They said it was a creature. 1966. Thanks, Tim. That looked like the size of a man with gray feathers and huge wings and eyes that glowed red when the headlights hit it.
Oh my God, it's Jeepers Creepers. Yes.
Yes. So they freaked out and started driving back to town, and they claimed that this thing followed them. It flew around and it was keeping up with the car, even though they hit over 100 miles an hour.
Maybe it was a dragon.
So
that is so freaking cool.
This is a story. It's a legend, and so they have a festival built around it because there's a tragedy that is associated with it too. Because there was like a year of sightings.
Picture, but go ahead.
And then a bridge that went from West Virginia to Ohio collapsed, and it was during rush hour, and there was something I think like 40 some deaths that happened.
Oh my!
Somehow they linked the sightings of this creature with the collapse of the bridge. So the legend grew, and then another author got a hold of it and added some UFOs and Men in Black and aliens. So this big legend has just grown.
Oh, that is the coolest. I know what I'm being for Halloween. Woo! That thing is sexy.
So, it depends on what version. Yes.
That is awesome.
I touched its butt. Because you can go up to the statue and touch its butt. It's got a nice.
Good for you.
Got buns of steel.
You know where he poops.
I do. Right there in the street.
That's really neat.
Yeah, we did that, and to start, it's a cool legend. I don't think it really happened the way they claimed it did, but we're talking like 1960s. I wasn't there. I wasn't even.
It doesn't sound too unbelievable.
It's monsters are a little unbelievable for me.
Most guys.
Like that. So, oh well, we'll see. Tim, do we have any other questions? Yeah. Oh, Shay, what's your top 3 favorite horror movies?
Oh my God, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2.
Is that tied for first, or is that 1 and 2 spot?
Oh, I don't know. Other horror. I mean, It Follows. I can't pick three. I mean, I freaking love Jeepers Creepers. Obviously, I just said it.
That was
Cool. And I just introduced my kids to that one. We watched. I didn't even know there was 4 of them. Don't watch the 4th. It's a disgrace. But the first 2 are so good. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Those.
That's good enough.
Any Rob Zombie.
Ooh, okay. That's good.
I definitely like to channel him in my videos, but I'll never be.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's wife. You can't be her. She's too good.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good. All right.
What
What's
are
up?
yours, though?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I watch horror films, but it's not like I go out and seek them out.
Oh, come on.
So I don't. Oh my gosh, horror films. What would I say? I don't know. I think. Does Poltergeist count?
Yes.
All right. So the original, not the remake shit.
Scary, yeah.
The remake sucked. I like the original, and I say that because I was still little when that came out, and I watched it, and that was it. That was it. Like, I was scared to death for months to sleep in my room.
That was like Candyman for me.
I was young enough that I still had this. My father had won me this huge Donald Duck stuffed thing, and it was bigger than I was. It actually sat in a rocking chair. That's how big this thing was. And it was in the corner of my room. Never thought anything of it. Watched Poltergeist, clown scene. That was it. That was it. Like, every night, like, staring over the covers, like, oh my God, it's gonna get up and kill me.
The Freddy movie. I still tuck my sheets under my feet so that there's no world down there. I still do that as an adult. Like, I grew up having the sheets that way. I can't sleep if my feet aren't tucked like that.
Really? Oh, I can't stand that. I cannot stand it. Whenever we go to a hotel and it's like you get into bed and the sheets are all like tucked in, like they're
Oh, I hate that. I take them out.
Take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I take them out, but then I tuck them under my feet.
So
there's no world down there that you can go into.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I get it. Okay. I'm with you on that. I like to be almost like in a cocoon.
Yep.
Yeah, damn right. All right.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Bro.
Hey, Shay, question. Can you find the Mothman for me?
I would find him.
Can you find where the Mothman poops?
I would kidnap him and keep him forever.
Oh, he is cute. Do I have? No, I don't have. I have 2 of them, but they're hanging up.
Well, I love moths, so Mothman.
Moth?
What could be better?
She did. She showed a picture. Oh,
I did. Yep, I found him.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
All right. What else we got? You got anything else? I think we got one more. Okay. What about Phantasm? Oh, Phantasm. That was is that the silver ball one? With the knives? Let me look it up. Let me look. Phantasm. Like I said, I'm not really big into horror films. I will watch them.
I don't know.
1976.
I don't know what this is. Oh, is it a wolf? No. What is it? A wolf?
What am I looking at?
Right? There's so many
There's
different things.
Bunch. Yeah, so many comes up.
So the answer is no, not Phantasm. Thank you.
Let's see. He said yes. I don't know.
I love that your rule is we don't know everything.
There you go. I don't know what I thought. Yeah, I thought that was with the silver ball that flies around and it's got the weird daggers that come out of it. I think that's what it is. But it's weird because none of these pictures that came up in Google is that.
No, and they're all different too.
Yeah.
Is it like a series, I guess? Because
wow, that's weird. Oh, the
chrome ball with
3 spiky thing. Yeah. Phantasm Ball. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, that's Jim. Hey, Jim. I know where you're at right now.
So, all right. Now I have pictures of that. Oh, and then there's the guy. Hold on. So let me share the
Their
screen.
blood out. So is it a werewolf? Like a or
No. Here you go. There he is.
Now what is that?
That's the little shiny
that's
ball.
spelled differently. Is that what he meant?
Oh yeah, I think that's what he meant. That's why I have it wrong.
I don't know that either.
Let's see.
That looks before.
There we go.
I'm too young for black and white movies.
When did this come out? This came out in 1979. There you go. Silver Death Sphere scene. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's like it shoots barbed wire. Cool.
I do remember. I think I saw this movie. I'm pretty sure I saw it, but I don't know. All right. Anything else, Tim? I like having Tim in the background. He's nice. He's quiet. He's good. Nope. No more questions. Good. So you're going to continue to do this, right, for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, as long as people are interested in it, because I like doing it, and I was doing it before people cared. So why not do it while they care?
I still love it. So what are some crazy things? I don't know if I asked you this. What are some crazy things you saw in the background that you were like, oh shit, that's totally weird? Have you seen anything like? And I'm going to bring up a weird one.
Tell me it first, and it might jog my memory on some others.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to bring up one not that you did, but one that I saw. Like, I've seen a video where someone had a bunch of sex toys that they didn't realize were in the background.
I always look for that, and I never found anything cool. But I did do a video where I noticed somebody on Shein was like posting in their bathing suit or something, and they were in a bathroom, and there was like a bucket. I mean, the bathroom looked like a hoarder's house, and it had catheters inside of a bucket behind her. And like, I had to post it. I mean, I wasn't finding anybody. I actually did look for the girl, but because I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get her out of the situation. Is she a hostage or what? But it was just catheter wrappers in like the most unkempt bathroom you could ever imagine. It was disgusting. You probably saw the video, but that, I mean, in the background,
yes.
I don't find much crazy stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I remember the video you're talking about, because I think people give you shit about it, right? If this is the one that I'm thinking of,
maybe sometimes I get so many comments I can't read them all.
Okay,
and then some of them, like once one person shares it and starts going, "Look what this girl did," then a whole bunch of people comment on it in that aspect, and I usually don't see it, or I only see one aspect of it because I only see the first 100 comments or whatever.
I can't imagine how many comments you get, because like
Me neither.
I do.
I have no idea.
I do videos where like I look specifically for poltergeist or like weird videos of ghosts and stuff. And I find ones that I'm pretty sure I know how they did it, so I recreate them. And
nice.
I do a recreation and I show you how I did it.
Cool.
And I've done it so many times and I get so many notifications of people commenting, and it's back and forth. Like, some are like, "This is great, thank you for the information." Other people are like, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Ghosts are real. This and all that." And I'm like, all right, I'm not even going to look.
Just because ghosts are real doesn't mean that some people don't fake it. Come on.
Right.
I argue with people. People are there's just too many not smart people out there, okay?
Okay.
You gotta let it
agree.
go. You just gotta let them go.
Yeah. That's what I usually do. I just let it go. I don't bother anymore. Because it's just not. I mean, I look at the tags, because they usually, when people tag me in videos, it's usually a good video to redo. But yeah, the comments I usually don't look at anymore, which I feel bad just for the people that leave good comments.
I know how it feels. Yeah. People will be like, and then when I see some, and it'll be like a year later because I went back to the video for something, and they'll be like, "Can you please this, that, and the other?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so bad." This person, like, hey, how do they expect me to see all those? But like, people, like, they'll be like, "I messaged you," and so I had to make a video, like, just so you guys know, I have 1,000 pending messages, and that's only because that's what it caps out at. So if I read one, it reloads. Like I'm working on the 50 it allows me to have at one point. I'm working on those cases. And so I'm like, and then once I'm done with one, I try to reload the other 1,000. And I'm like, I have no idea how many I have. Like, I'm sorry that you guys are waiting and I hate it, but what am I supposed to do? I'm one person.
It's almost comical because, like you said, this isn't your full-time job. You do it for free, and you get. I don't think people realize. Like when I messaged you initially, I did not expect you to respond, to be honest, and it wasn't because I didn't think you would respond to me. I just figured you get so many requests, and you mentioned it that you get a lot of requests. And I was like, there's no way. I mean, she's so busy. She's not going to see this. And then like 5 minutes later, you were like, oh, that sounds okay. And I was like, oh shit.
Maybe it's because you were following me and maybe I was following you, but like some messages get kicked to the front. Ooh. Or like if I don't know if it's because they just commented on like a video of mine, or maybe if it's because I'm following them, but I noticed that some pop up immediately and other ones go to the very back. And I don't know why that is, but maybe yours popped up immediately. And if it came in my inbox, I mean, I read them as much as I'm reading them all day, and I try to respond, at least if it's one word. And I know I come off like I'm being short, but I'm trying to get to as many as I can.
Right.
So, but yeah,
you get a lot.
What?
I mean, you get a lot. You get a lot of people because everyone, and I'm not trying to say this is mean, but so many people will reach out to somebody like you looking for help. But they don't realize that there's 100 or 1,000 other people that are doing the exact same thing because they follow your videos and they want the same information.
And I want to help them all, so I can't just read through them and not read them. To me, I have to read every single one because that's how I am.
I'm the same way. I mean, I get messages, I get emails, I get social media messages, and I have an office phone that rings. And, and that... Out of all of it, the office phone, I hate the most. I really don't like it because when people call me and they get to me, they don't even tell me their name. They just start saying, hey, I have this photo and you need to look at it right now.
I'm so glad I don't give out my phone number. There's no way. That would be horrible.
It would be. It would be. I can see people call, I need this now. You need to find me. Oh, my goodness.
That brings me to a point because I had a question for you that was a would you rather.
Oh, okay.
So would you rather only get to check your phone one time a day or only wash your hair twice a month? And this is probably easier for a girl to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just wash my hair twice a month because I use my phone all the time.
Right. Like, what would you do? It would ruin you. Yeah.
Because
you just shave your head then and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be gone. And it's like, all right, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. I'll just be bald. No big deal.
I mean, it's because if I'm not here, like my setup here, I have 3 screens in front of me. And I usually have my laptop on the side and my phone is right here on a stand, so I can use that too.
Yeah, and I have 2 phones, so what would I do? And work? I mean, what?
Yeah. Hello.
Do you? So what do you do for work? Other like, you're a writer, or you're an investigator. You get paid for that? How does that work?
Yeah, I get paid. Yeah, I do. So yeah, I am. My official title is Chief Investigator and of Paranormal Claims. So I work for a nonprofit organization called the Center for Inquiry, and they started in 1976 investigating all kinds of paranormal claims, from ghosts to psychics to mental.
How are they funded? Sorry, like who are they run by? Is it a
private donations? All donations.
Why did they start?
Because there was a lot. Back in the 70s, a lot of psychics and mediums were coming out and doing a lot of work, making a lot of money off of a lot of people. And I think it really came from that.
I see.
And it grew. It grew out of just paranormal stuff. It gets into a lot of pseudo-medical stuff, like really bad medical shit. And
right.
But we do have a section that's for paranormal claims, and that's where I come in. So I spend my day, yeah, researching and writing articles. I make videos for them. I also do lectures. I tour the country sometimes. I just went to Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, and did lectures. We're planning more for next year. I host workshops. I go out to different groups and also give talks, presentations on how to solve mysteries. And you're going to be.
Why? Like, I'm sorry. I think it's awesome, but like, what are you trying to get out? Like, what is the
critical thinking? Basically, my overarching theme is teaching critical thinking.
Okay, so you want like less gullible people in the world.
Yes.
Love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a great service.
I try.
When you come here, I've got some people I need you to meet.
I mean, that's why I've been going into schools, like grade schools or high
Very
school,
cool.
and doing a presentation, because, like, who doesn't like some aspect of the paranormal? You know, ghosts and monsters and aliens, especially aliens, because it's in the news anymore. But that's the hook that gets you interested. Like, oh, you know, let me hear about this, and then I hit them with the science. I hit them with the critical thinking, and tell them, like, we talk about what we talked about earlier in the show, like with psychics and how they can hot read, which is learning information beforehand, going through people's social medias. We talk about that, and it turns into a safety lesson, especially for kids, so they don't get
lots of aspects, safety, and like don't take anything at its word. I mean, and yes, to like raise questions about things, that just makes you a better citizen.
Yeah,
I mean, that's huge,
and it's everyday life. I mean, we make decisions on products, food we buy, medicine we get, all kinds of medical problems and stuff. So there has to be some kind of critical thinking in there. So you don't just take things at face value. You don't see a commercial, you know, at 2 a.m. that's an infomercial that's selling you some kind of miracle drug that doesn't work. You know, we need you to start thinking about it.
Yes, Lord. For the existence of humanity, will you please start thinking?
Please. But it works. It works. I've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of good feedback.
That's really cool.
And it just, that's what keeps me going.
So that's rewarding as hell. Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Really. I mean, you're making a difference in the generations that are upcoming. And honestly, you should be a class in school.
There are. I mean, there's some classes coming up. The class that the high school that I went to, it was part of a class on critical thinking in high school, which I didn't have when I was in high school.
No.
So I hope more and more people do that. I've worked with, we have an education director. Oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking on the name. But she has developed different courses, classroom courses, like 1 day, 2 day courses that teachers can get in and get all the materials to teach a class on critical thinking.
Oh, heck yeah.
Awesome. So
good for her. I love it.
Yeah. All right. I think we have a couple more questions.
All right.
People are getting interested. Awesome. Redman, what's up, buddy? Have you ever found something that made you want to call 911? Ooh, that's a good question.
Is that for me?
That's for you.
Oh,
you're the star of the show tonight.
I mean, other than that, okay. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I found that house that was so disturbing to me. I even like said, like, okay, they had like the whole twister type of like hideout, but there was like shackles hanging. And I mean, this place was terrifying. And one of the doors to the basement had like 2 locks on it. And I was just like, why? But why? Like, I understand that maybe they had just bought it from somebody else, but just the motives of the previous owners, I have no idea. No, I didn't really want to call 911, but that one was kind of like, what the fuck happened here? And then, the girl in the trailer on the Sheen review, standing in front of all the catheters and stuff, I almost felt like maybe she was a hostage. Like, honestly, because, I mean, who would dress up in a bathing suit, take a picture and post it on Sheen as a review? Like, in, you know, people say that you take your pictures in your cleanest room. And I was like, you know, they took her out of the dungeon and made her take the picture there. But I tried to find her. I couldn't find, you know, where that picture was taken. But no, I wouldn't say try to call 911. Not yet. No.
Well, that's good. What's Sheen? Is
Oh,
that
it's like a
platform?
really cheap, like Chinese made site where you can get stuff that, knock off things.
Oh, okay. All right. Like a Wish kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, yep.
Okay. Oh, wow. And people post pictures on there?
Yeah, reviews. So like in the review photos, it was her in a like white bathing suit, which most people don't post their reviews of them in a bathing suit. So I almost felt like it was forced, and then just the condition of the house was so disgusting.
Wow.
I just, ugh.
Okay. All right.
You have you ever?
Me? Have I ever had to call 911? Oh, wait. Now that I think about it. Have I? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think I did. No. Unless it pops into my head, but I'm hesitant because I think I did get involved. There's been a bunch of cases where I have spoken to law enforcement, but not to report someone, but to get information and or provide information.
Right.
About like more or less like a medium or psychic that claimed to help out with cases.
So do they arrest them for some type of charges like falsifying information, or what kind of crime is
No,
that?
unfortunately it's not a crime, because if they do call in, they usually call in. It's like any other tip, and the problem with that is that if you claim to be a psychic medium and you're calling in, it's usually for publicity because you're trying to get people to notice that you're doing it. And if you're giving bullshit information, you are taking resources away from the actual case. So that's why I get pissed off, because if they call in and say, "Oh, I see, like, it's by a pond or it's by water," that's a famous one. They're by water, and pretty much everything's by water. So that's to me, that's a bullshit claim. But if they give information like, "Oh, I see a guy with red hair" or this and that, and it's just random shit, then you're taking police that have to take the call, take the information, and try to follow up on it.
Isn't that? I think that is like a falsifying information, or isn't that a crime?
Because they're not.
Because they're not saying it's true; they're just telling you what they see.
Yes.
Dang.
It's their impression or something like that. So it's not it's not filing a false report.
Right.
It's just, hey, this is what my impression is. Yeah. So that's the workaround. I know. Yeah. Adam in the chat is saying false claim, but I've never heard of anyone getting charged with the false claim.
Yeah.
So, but usually the people that I work with, Aaron here, he's our resident police officer. So yeah, he said no, it's not a crime, which is sad because I think they should all be locked up.
That's even more annoying then, because you have to follow every lead if you can.
Yeah. All right. What else we got, Tim? Anything else? Yeah, we do. Jade Kidden. Hey, Jade Kidden. Nice to see you. Can we contact you regarding personal matters? I mean personal to us.
Me?
Yes. I think all the questions are going to be directed at you first, unless they actually say my name.
I mean, of course. I mean, everyone contacts me. I mean, can you give him my email or whatever?
That's up to you. If you're okay with that, I can give her your email and then go from there. All right, cool. So Jade Kitten, I will do that after the show, and then you can contact her and discuss your personal matter. All right, what else? Tim's on that ball, man. Hey, Aaron, have you ever done any international cases? Sorry if it was asked late to the party.
Have I ever found anybody international? Yeah. I mean, it's really, really hard. And, but yes, people are always like, you can only do America, but, I do like 2 a month that are either like, I've done Australia, I do the UK a lot. Yeah, I've found some people. It's just hard because I don't really understand how the addresses and the streets work, and the zip codes make no sense to me. and I can't find anything, and all the houses look the same. So,
I hear you.
But yes, I found a lot of Australian people, a lot of UK. So yeah,
I've been able to track down people in history. So mostly people that are not alive anymore. But through old directories, just trying to track them out. And I know what you mean. Like I see the addresses and I'm like,
what
the
is
hell
that?
is
I don't even know where to start to copy and paste.
Like, just give me a damn street. Give me a street name and I'll work backwards from there. But
it's not even a street name. It's like a sector of town.
Right. Getting used to that is weird, but I've gotten a little used to it. So I have been able to find neighborhoods and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely difficult. Not that I mean, I'm sure our system is weird to everyone over in the UK.
Yeah.
So, Shay found my missing brother in 10 minutes.
Adam.
That's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
You. Hey, did I really though, Adam? Did it work?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he's still in the chat, if that was an old thing, but
that was the latest comment.
I remember I sent that to him, and he was going to have his mom call, and I can't remember the follow-up on that, if they ended up finding him or not. They hadn't talked to him in like a month. They did. Is he good? Because they were worried about his mental health and all that.
Wow, that's awesome. See how awesome your work is?
Shut
Be
up.
proud of that. Be proud of that.
I am.
Aw,
Thanks, Adam. I'm glad you're here.
that's so cool. That's awesome. He's fine. Oh, that's good.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, because they were worried. They hadn't heard from him, so they were going to do like a, health check or whatever it's called. But
yeah,
they couldn't find him. So cool. Good. I'm so glad.
That's awesome. I love that, and I hope more people find you like from the show and from your TikTok, so they can. I wish you could do this full time. Would this be a cool job? Would you like to do this full time?
Yeah, it would. I mean, I thought about, hiring somebody to do like find my, somebody who owes child support, because I had so many requests and I was just like, I can't get to these and I feel so bad. And I mean, if we just charged $10, the money we could make, and I could just, teach someone how, and I started thinking about how I would teach them to look for it. And it just became too overwhelming for me. And I just, with 3 kids, I thought about it, and I've been offered a lot of different jobs at, different investigation groups and things like that. But I have a great job, and I love my job, and I love working from home. And with I have a 2-year-old, so I just can't right now do anything else. But maybe in like 5 years, I could take on something else.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Adam wants to ask you why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I don't know. Stop asking me that. It's because it's sugary sweet, and when you mix it with milk, it's like the best flavor ever.
It's like crack in the morning. It's awesome.
Freaking A, it is the best thing. Like cinnamon milk. I mean, it's genius.
How can you go wrong? That's
right.
awesome.
I don't know how they didn't know that in the 80s.
All right. What's up next, Tim? CZ. Shay, what's your process of picking a person to help?
To help? Or like, does he mean to help or to find? Like,
I guess when people are asking for
I'll answer both, I guess. If they're messaging me and they're asking me to help, I just go, I answer every single message that I get, the private messages. So I help them all. And then my process. So like when I post a video, like I try to answer all the messages I can, the comments on that video, and I will add them to my favorites, which gives me a different section to go back to comments. And then if it says, will you please try to find me, then I try to add them, and then I just go through those every day. I mean, I don't really have a good process, but I will put people in front of other people if they say, you will never find me. Like, I've been a ghost forever. My parents can't even find me. Or like, I have a good example. This lady, one of my favorite finds is this girl says, my dad is laughing at your video right now. And he's standing behind me and he says, I don't have any social media. You'll never find me. And I didn't even put her in my favorites. I immediately went to her page and thought, if this is her dad, then she has lived with him before. And there will be a picture somewhere of her in the house that she used to live with. Right. Hopefully they're still married and all that. Anyway, I ended up finding him, and I had to follow up on that one because I was like, oh, it's so funny that he's laughing that he doesn't have social media, but I found all these pictures of him, and here he is, and here's the house that you grew up in that he still lives in, because I looked at the tax records, and she's like, wow, he fell out of his chair. He cannot even believe it. So, I mean, people that test me, I just like people that test me. It motivates me. Let me say that.
That's something. There's something about that is just really awesome, because it's family, friends. Because one of your tips was about where is it? About making your profile private, or also your followers, and be careful who you tag, because they can give it away. Because like one of the tactics that I use a lot is, I can't find anything on you, but let me see what kind of family you have, what kind of friends you have, and they can help me where you go, what you do, who you talk to. And I basically say, like, part of my job is stalking.
Yeah.
I gotta find where someone is, depending on like the case that I'm working on. So yeah, all these avenues, you have to be careful when you go out to a restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm having a great time. You get a selfie and you tag everyone in the picture. Now I know all your friends, who you hang out with.
Yeah.
And
they're not safe. So you could be as safe as you want, but your friend's not safe. Now I know her city, and I know she was with you last week and the week before. So now I'm pretty sure she lives in the same city as you. And so it's just, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
I mean, eventually I'm going to give so many tips, and so many people are going to listen and be safe, that I won't be able to do this anymore. And that's the goal.
Yes. I love that. That's a great way to say it, to work yourself out of a job, but that means people are safe.
Yeah.
They're being
totally worth
better.
It.
They're thinking about what they're doing. If I go to a private home where they think their house is haunted, and I go through like some of their claims, and we're able to explain everything. We go step by step and say, this is what happened. It wasn't a ghost. This is what caused that noise. This is what caused that shadow. We go through step by step. And I teach them the skills to look into it themselves, to investigate themselves, and realize what's going on. And when I leave, I tell them, I don't want to come back. And if I do come back, I want it to be a social visit, not me coming here and having to explain like why there's not a ghost in your house. I want you to feel safe in your own house. So I would love to work myself out of a job. It's never going to happen.
Lord, how I wish chiropractors worked like that. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that would
just actually fix you. Yeah. But I mean, it is sketchy, because it's like, well, your job's to come here and tell me there's no ghost, but then you won't have a job anymore. So maybe he's going to tell me there is a ghost. But you teach them enough that they can just go through the steps to determine the next time they think they see something, it's not that.
Right. And they will never have to call me back.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the TV shows that you see, where they're like, if something happens, give us a call. We'll come right back.
There better not be any more rattling of pipes.
All right. I knew she was going to say that. Chiropractor.
No, you didn't. Chiropractors. Fucking scams. They never will say you're healed. It's like, well, you have to come back for the next 47 weeks twice a week.
Twice a week. Come back in here for an adjustment.
Never be healed.
Yeah. It's all right. All right. Daniel Reed, what? Tongue kiss a lizard or check your messages once a month. What?
Kiss a lizard, easy.
Shit. Yeah. I gotta check my messages, man.
No one's gonna know. The lizard's not gonna tell.
Yeah. I don't want to play this game anymore. Nobody else put up any other weird stuff, because this is gonna take a turn for the worse. I can feel it. It's like, oh, would you do this or your phone?
Would you rather can go down and.
How far will we go to keep our phones? I'll go pretty far.
Right.
And it depends on how much rum I've had. So,
yeah. I don't think the kiss the lizard was worse than the hair washing. So.
No.
Bring it on.
Okay. We got anything else? Oh, yeah. Cool. Alexis Webb. How many people do you find a day? Do you limit yourself to one a day, or does it just depend on how easy it is to find these people?
I try to just do one a day now. thank you for being here, by the way. But yeah, I try to do one a day just because the posts don't get as much action, and it takes me, a while to make the video. And then if I'm posting more than one, they're not getting as much action, and I don't feel like I did all that work for, nothing. So
Right.
I've been doing one a day, but then if that one doesn't get a bunch of action, I'll just do a couple of easy ones that I have stored up in my drafts. Just to go ahead and post those because the other ones aren't getting action anyway, or I'll just post some like other funny stuff. But the messages where I find people who are looking for their delinquent baby daddy, baby mommies, as many as I can get to. I don't know. There's not really just however many, depending on the day. I mean,
Yeah.
I've probably done 10 a day, and then some days I don't do any. So I don't know. It just depends.
I can't figure out like how TikTok works with that because I'm pretty bad. I used to do one video a day, so I had two channels. I had one that was like a museum so over the years people have given me haunted objects and cursed objects. I have a ton of them out here in display cases.
You're crazy.
You need to come visit, and I will give you a personal
no
tour.
if you have the objects.
So I have a bunch, and I would do videos, one a day, just telling the story about the object, showing it, and then if I could test it, however, like whatever the claim was, if like you fell asleep wearing a necklace, it's supposed to choke you. I have one of those. So I did it.
You freaking did it.
I did it. Nothing happened.
Crazy.
And then people questioned me and said, well, the story said that 2 females had it and they were choked, so maybe it has to be a female. So I volunteered my wife, and she did it. So we did a video on that. So we did one video every day, and it was good. It took off really good. But then, like, I stopped doing that, and I have my main channel where I do a lot of recreation and debunking videos, but I don't get to it every day. So there might be one day a week where I start looking, and I'm like, oh, let's see what's on TikTok today, and I'll do like 3 or 4 videos. And then won't do anything for another week or 2. And sometimes they all blow up. Sometimes none of them do. So I can't figure out like.
I have done much like trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And the best thing I can figure out is the times that you post matter. But if you post at the same time every day, TikTok expects it. And what they want you to do is show more. And not at this time they expect you. So if you wait a little bit longer the next day to post, that one will take off more than if you post at the same time as you posted the one the day before. And then also, if you post like 3 in one day, they're going to be terrible unless you post them all like within the same hour.
Okay.
Then they almost get their own algorithm. They almost get their own time. And it's like one will go through and then it lets it hit like, 100,000, and then it stops that one and goes to your next video. So like they're not going to get as much as they would if you just posted them alone on their own day at a time that you don't normally post, at a time when your viewers are most active, and at a time when TikTok is most active. So it's like so many freaking factors that you can't. Right. It's just crazy. I've tried so many things.
I stopped trying to predict all that. I just, when I have time and volunteers, because I usually grab, like, that's one of the great things about working here. Like, I go out and tell people, like, Eric behind the wall is my coworker, Eric, who's behind this wall. I sometimes yell just out because we keep our doors open, but I usually yell like, hey, you want to be a ghost? And he's like, oh, yeah. And he comes around and we set it up and he becomes a ghost in one of my videos. And one of my editors comes down, like if I have props and say, hey, I need someone to drop a heavy bag on my head. And she won't even email me back. She shows up my door. She's like, what do I get to drop on your head? Let me do it. Can I do it hard? And I'm like, yeah, great. So we have a lot of fun. Everyone gets involved here.
Heck yeah.
Lots of fun. All right, I think we are out of questions. Oh, wait, I see one. Oh, there it is. Oh, what? Oh, so do you give? Oh, so you do give people tips on how to protect their identity.
Yeah, we kind of went over some of those.
Yeah.
Not posting road signs in schools, obviously not your mailboxes, letters, mail, Amazon boxes, addresses on anything, advertisements that you see on the road, street signs that you can see in the background. I mean, reflections. Yeah. I mean, just don't post was the tip, is just don't post, because.
Yeah, reflections is a good one. I've done that a lot, where I look at people's sunglasses or windows. I've been able to reverse images. Yeah, to get it to read some words and stuff. So,
even like this, one time there was a guy that had like a cartoon thing behind him, and I took a screenshot of it down and put it into the Google image search.
Oh yeah,
actually his Facebook profile picture. And I didn't know his name or anything. I would have never found his Facebook, but I was like, this is a character. It was a caricature of him. And I was like, let's just see. Maybe they posted it on their website, and I'll see if he took the caricature. No, it led me straight to his Facebook. I was just, you can't post anything.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. All right. Are we good, Tim? Are we good with questions? We haven't. Yeah, it looks like he's giving me the thumbs up. Cool. All right. So we are at the end of the show. It has been so much fun talking to you.
Thank you.
This has been great. And as I understand it, this is your first podcast? Yeah.
Yep. Yes. First live anything.
First live. And yeah, love
the cherry.
Oh. I was thinking about saying that, but I didn't know if that was going too far.
I knew that you were thinking about saying that. So.
Oh, just we're connected. Like psychically.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. So people, what your TikTok name is Shay-Nanigans 87?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So you can find you on TikTok. I do have your email, and you're okay with me giving it out to people that need it. Okay.
Of course.
So Jade Kitten, I know you're still watching, so I'll contact you afterwards. Any other socials or anything else you want to promote while you're here?
No. You. Okay. Keep following you. You're pretty awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course. And I live streamed this, so I'll have to tag you in it so people will know how to follow the show.
You've been sharing this on TikTok?
Yeah, it's just live. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me how you set it up? Because I know your phone. Hi, everybody. Nice. Okay, yeah. Cool.
So people have been asking a million questions, but
wow. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope they enjoyed it. I'm going to do quick announcements that I have. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. So let's see. Some of the announcements that I have, I'm going to do real quick because I'm not going to do too much. Tomorrow, if anyone's in the area, I'm going to be at the Knickerbocker Hotel, which is in Linesville, Pennsylvania. Apparently Saturday is National Ghost Hunting Day. So everyone's doing events, and the Knickerbocker asked if I would come out and take part. So I'm going to do that tomorrow night. I'm going to be there. What else do I have? October 23rd, or actually October 26th to 29th is SciCon, our science conference out in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to do a workshop on Thursday about solving mysteries, how to solve mysteries and all the strategies that I do. And I'm co-hosting with Jim Underdown, who is going to do his part about testing psychic power claims and tell you about some of the tests he's done over the years. And recently, too. I know he gets like 200 or 300 requests every year about testing. He has a $500,000 challenge for anyone that can prove that they have psychic powers. November 4th and 5th, I'll be in Woodbridge, New Jersey for the Para Unity Conference. So I'll have my Skeptical Help booth, the whole physical one, set up, and you can come out, ask questions, hang out. I take donations for, I think we're doing St. Jude's this year, so we take any donations and we give it right to St. Jude's so they can help kids out. But I'll be there answering questions and demonstrations, and I can look at pictures and stuff like that. And that's it for now. There's a lot of stuff in the work. Oh, I do want to say, if you're in the Buffalo area, October 19th, we're going to have a workshop here It's going to be a crafting night and ghost story night. The crafting part is we're going to take skeletons, the 6-inch skeletons that you get like at the dollar store, and we're going to turn them into mummified fairies. So it's a crafting night because there's a lot of oddities museums that I've been to where I see these things mounted on the wall and presented as real fairies. So I'm going to show you exactly how they're made. We're all going to make them. So look for that. And you can also bring the other skeleton stuff that you see in the Halloween shops, like Michael's and stuff. I just picked this up. Tim should recognize this. So this is an owl. I got an owl, big ass owl. And I'm going to mummify this and turn it into a Mothman. Mummified Mothman. So I actually painted it was all white. It was like off yellow, and I painted it already. So I'm going to do that up. And then we're going to tell ghost stories, like personal ghost stories. And we're going to talk about them from a skeptical point of view and see if we can come up with some ideas that might explain what happened. So, but that's it. That's it for my announcements. I hope everyone enjoyed the show. I hope you got some good information, especially some safety tips. Talking with someone that can find almost anyone, and not only that, but she can find where you poop, which
well, can you
that should scare the shit out of you, literally. I was hoping to get that joke in. So take it to heart, learn from what she said, and with that, have a good weekend. You stick around. I'm going to play the outro video, and then we'll come back and talk for a couple minutes before you leave. But everyone else, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and remember, never stop learning. And I'll see you next week. Bye.